Alrighty, voice from the bleachers. I hope you fans are ready. Big video today.
The NBA over-unders for the 2017-2018 season.
Yeah.
Get excited.
I hope you're excited because we're going to make you guys a lot of money on this video.
Right, so every year, me and Leo do this for fun, just between the two of us.
We get together.
We go over every team's win total, predicted by Vegas, and we say whether it's going to go over or under. So, for example, let's say the Toronto Raptors have a 22 win total predicted.
Yeah.
We say over if they're going to win more than 22 games.
Yeah.
Under, they're going to win less.
Exactly.
Pretty simple.
Let's have a fun video.
Full disclosure, if you take our advice and it goes wrong, we are not to blame.
We can't be held accountable for any money lost from this video.
Just a full disclaimer before we begin.
Yeah.
And we took the odds from OddsShark, so thank you to you guys.
Thank you, OddsShark.
And we will get started with the Eastern Conference. We'll go by alphabetical order.
That's how we like it.
And every team. Leo, start us off with the Atlanta Hawks.
That's 25.5. So let me start off. The Hawks have gotten real bad this offseason. They lost Paul Millsap. And their starting point guard is going to be Dennis Schroeder. They have a good coach, I guess, but they're going to be starting Schroeder. They got some Taj Prince guy. They got some new kid in the draft, but not a lot of big names. You're not going to know anyone on the Hawks. They still got Kent Bazemore. So I'm going with the under in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the under as well. I think they've lost most of their key contributors from that team 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
That went on that run. Korver's gone. Millsap is gone. Horford is gone. I can't see them winning too many games. It feels like it's a team that's starting to rebuild. And this is gonna suck.
No, I think this team might be the worst team in the East.
Alright, under. Next.
Boston Celtics. They added Kyrie Irving. Just a little pickup.
He's okay.
A little trade.
He's had a few big shots in his career before,
He has a chip. He's a couple All-Stars, but no big deal. And they added another guy, white guy, great hair, from Utah, come over to Boston, reuniting himself with Brad Stevens, his former coach, Gordon Hayward. This
team, in a lot of ways, got a lot better. I think their starting 5, whatever they can trot out at the end of the games, is better. I don't see why that team isn't going to come into every game, at least against the East, and thinking they can't win it, including Cleveland.
Yeah.
I take the over 55.5. I think they're going to finish first in the conference once again. Because I think Cleveland will go through what they did last season.
Yeah.
And this team has a Kyrie that wants to win an MVP. Hayward that was great last season. The coaching from Stevens, another year of Brown. You add Jason Tatum, another year of Horford. Marcus Smart got leaner.
I did hear he got.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it.
So I'm gonna take the under on this. Take the over on this.
You're gonna take the over 55.
Take the over 55.
So, in my opinion, Boston last season overachieved. I think their team's better. They added better players. Another year, this core. There's a lot of players that need to prove people wrong. Kyrie Irving wants to show people that he's a superstar. He can lead a team. Gordon Hayward left a comfortable situation to come to Boston, to an easier conference to prove himself. So I'm taking the over 55.5 for Boston Celtics.
All right, that's great. Now we're gonna go to everyone's favorite team in the last few seasons. Everyone's favorite team, the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, okay.
The Brooklyn Nets, who once had the bleakest future in the NBA, have sort of maybe
turned it around a little.
A little bit. There's some signs.
For sure.
The line is 27.5.
Okay.
Now they added D'Angelo Russell.
I like D'Angelo Russell.
Jeremy Lin is healthy.
He's healthy right now.
Karis LeVert.
Don't know who that is.
And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson.
A lot of no names. Oh, they also got DeMarre Carroll from the Raptors. Don't forget about him. So what the Nets did, they picked up a lot of contracts from other teams to also get picks for their future. So they're building for the future. Those guys are decent players, but not good players for the money they're getting in this NBA. They have a bunch of those guys who can play decent and contribute. They have D'Angelo Russell, a young star to build around. And so I think they'll do better than they were last season, even though the East has gotten worse. So I think they're not the bottom team anymore. So I think they're going to go over. So the next team on our list are a team that I honestly don't really care about. I don't think you care about this team very much.
I couldn't care less.
I don't think anyone in the NBA cares about this team
except for one person. The GOAT.
The GOAT, Michael Jordan.
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets come into the season with a 42.5.
Ooh. My opinion, that's a little bit of a high line.
That's a bit of a high.
They new additions to note, Dwight Howard. They got him from the Hawks.
Dwight Howard, yeah.
And they picked up Malik Monk in the draft, a young player with a lot of upside, a lot of raw talent.
But the floor is low.
Yeah.
The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say, but the floor is a little low.
Ceiling's high, but right now he's really raw, and we don't know what he can do. He didn't play in Summer League at all, so we don't know what he's all about.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Leo. As soon as I saw that line, I said under.
Yeah.
The real line should be over under how many games until Michael Jordan makes Dwight Howard cry in practice.
No, Dwight Howard, for everything Dwight Howard is, he's a decent NBA player, and he's an improvement to the team from what they had last
Over
season
the
at
white
center,
centers. Yeah.
from all the white guys they have. So
I think we should move on.
I'm gonna go under too.
Alright, so speaking of the GOAT, from the team he owns to the team he became famous in, the Chicago Bulls,
Ooh.
come into this season with
the Bulls.
a league low 22 win over under.
The Bulls are bad. They lost Jimmy Butler, they lost D Wade, they lost Rondo, and they picked up Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine. They still got Robin Lopez, Lauri Markkanen, to name a few.
You know what? Here's a big one you miss. They still got Fred Hoiberg.
This is easy, in my opinion. Bulls are bad. They might be worse than the Nets were last year, so I think they're going under 22.
I think they're going under as well. I think they're really bad.
That's a bad team.
LaVine's hurt. We don't know anything about Markkanen yet. I feel like he's a project at this stage of his career. So how much is he really going to add?
He played good in Euro basketball.
He was good. Chris Dunn was really bad last season.
He was. And he was a 4-year player in college. So
yeah.
Who knows about the upside there.
And there's Fred Hoiberg. And their national TV schedule, they're not going to be on TNT so much this season. So much like home TNT games.
True. Great point.
Under 22 games. Worst team in the league.
Ooh.
Speaking of the GOAT, the one guy who we always seem to bring up against the GOAT.
Who's chasing the GOAT, chasing his ghost?
LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers, 53.5 wins.
Ooh. I think I'm going to take the over on this one. It's a bit of it seems like a mix of players like D Rose, D Wade. They got Jeff Green too or something. A bunch of players that don't seem like they fit, but they have LeBron James.
I feel like under the leadership of LeBron James, that team can come together.
Yeah.
And Cleveland has been noted. They've got a great medical staff. Do with that what you will.
Okay.
And, I feel like it's a lot of guys that are fighting for recognition. Jeff Green, Derrick Rose, D Wade. The last few years for them haven't been great.
Yeah.
So they want to get back to the level. Kevin Love, I think, is on the train as well. Now he might be the second option with that team missing some time. Should he miss time? Thomas. It feels like everyone's got a chip on their shoulders, and there's no one better to piggyback when you've got that level of hunger and determination. Not LeBron James.
To me, it's not an easy over because IT is missing a lot of time, but it isn't a weak East. And if you have LeBron James, it doesn't really matter who else is on your team. So I'm going to take the over for this one. All right, next team we got on the list here.
Detroit Pistons.
Motor City.
38.5 wins.
38.5. That's a tough one. I'm going to take the over on this one. They added Avery Bradley.
But they got rid of
Marcus Morris.
I
think Avery Bradley's a better player. They did that more to help out the Celtics because they had to free up some cap space to pick up Gordon Hayward. So I think the team is a decent team under Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy. Jeff commentates for ESPN.
Yeah, Stan coaches the team. So I'm going to take the over. I think they'll be a playoff team this season.
They'll be a playoff team by default. Simply because everyone got worse.
That's true.
I'm not a big fan of the Pistons. I could care less about the Pistons. The Pistons haven't been relevant in about 12 years, 13 years since the Wallaces were there. So I don't have much to say about this team.
They're not very exciting.
I think they'll go over. Maybe they'll win like 40 games.
I'm not going to be watching any Pistons games, that's for sure.
No, Golden State could be playing the Pistons.
Yeah,
I wouldn't watch.
Let's not waste our time with the Pistons.
Let's move on. So the next team from Detroit to another team in Middle America. The Indiana Pacers.
Ooh, another sorry team this season.
If you were an Indiana fan and someone told you that the win total was 31.5, what would you say?
I would say that's a little high. I think they think Indiana's going to overachieve, in my opinion. I'm going to take the under. They lost their best player, Paul George. They have Miles Turner to build it around, who's a good young center. They added Victor Oladipo, but he can put up some points, but he hasn't really shown that he's a great player in this league. So I'm going to take the under.
He hasn't. I think last year's situation was really toxic for him. But I don't know how well he's going to handle being on the other end of the spectrum when he's expected to do everything offensively. Miles Turner is a good player. But let's not pretend he's Rudy Gobert or something like that. I think I'm going to go...
Still a young player.
I'll go with the under on this one. I think it's a pretty easy one.
Next team on the list, an exciting team, the Miami Heat.
Exciting city. Exciting players.
Yeah.
Exciting team.
For sure.
The Miami Heat last year had a great second half of the season. Led by Dion Waiters and Hassan Whiteside.
Neon Dion.
Great coach in their Spoelstra.
Coached very well.
They were very good. So here's my reasoning for taking the over 43.5. Should they should this be the same Miami team that showed up in the second half of the season for an entire season? Let's say they can't keep that level, but it drops a little bit.
Yeah.
They can still cover that over. And the rest of the conference, like we keep hammering in the video, it got worse.
Yeah.
I don't see why they couldn't do it. And they've got some good players. I think I'm going to take the over on this.
I'm going to also take the over, and here's why. They did have once they got it together and started gelling as a team, second half of the season, as you mentioned, they got better. I don't think they'll go on another 20-win streak like they did last season, which kind of like balanced their record from the slow start. So if they start strong, I think they'll do fine. They have good players. Goran Dragic just won a Euro Basketball MVP, leading his team to a championship. Dion Waiters just signed a new contract, going to prove the haters wrong. Hassan Whiteside, great center. Very coached well, a team that's coached very well, and Pat Riley at the helm, running the show.
There's a few interesting young guys too. Justice Winslow.
If he comes back, he was injured
last season. Josh Richardson.
And they picked up Bam Adebayo.
They picked up Bam.
With the
Bam's loving life in Miami. Tell you that
and
much.
Hey, let's not joke ourselves. The Heat seem to pick up pretty decent players in the draft that kind of fly under the radar. So watch out for Bam Adebayo.
So moving from glorious South Beach to Milwaukee.
Ooh.
Snowy Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Cold Milwaukee.
Now, it's cold outside, but inside the court, great basketball. Real exciting basketball. Led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks have an over-under of 47.5.
Ooh, it's a pretty high line in my opinion, but I'm going to take the over, and here's why. Giannis, another year of Giannis. Some players around the league are saying he has MVP potential this season.
Kobe Bryant challenged him on Twitter.
To win the MVP. He's a great player. He's going to take a step up. Chris Middleton for the full season. He's a great player. He contributes to that team. Malcolm Brogdon, another year in the NBA, so he has to prove himself. Jabari Parker coming off his ACL. He was great until he tore it, so hopefully he can come back.
Hopefully he comes back, yes.
And Thon Maker, who knows how old he is, but if he improves
but we know how good he is. He's real good.
And coached by Jason Kidd, one of the best point guards in the league.
Jason Kidd's he was one of the best point guards in the league. Not anymore.
Not anymore, one of the best point guards.
He could probably start for Atlanta or Chicago.
No, and he's a great coach.
No, I think the over, everything you said, I agree. Mm-hmm. I just think that when you have a guy like Giannis, if he takes the leap we expect him to take, and he took a hell of a leap last season too, keep that in mind, and he becomes one of the best players in the league.
If he can shoot, if he can learn to shoot.
Yeah, even okay. LeBron at that age wasn't a great shooter either, and he still dominated. Just by that factor, just by the sheer talent of Giannis, they can go over. So I'll take the over on that one.
All right.
Right, Leo. Why don't you introduce the next team?
All right.
Holds a very special place in your heart.
It does. It hurts me to say this, but the New York Knicks are up.
New York Knicks. The win total for the upcoming season for the New York Knicks, 30.5.
My goodness.
They lost Carmelo Anthony, but they lost Phil Jackson.
They did. Hey, that's a plus.
Phil is gone.
Phil is gone. All right. So we still have Kristaps. We picked up Tim Hardaway Jr., who's an easy 16 a night. But we have Frank Nicotila, I don't know how you say it, from France. Never played a minute in the NBA. I hear he's
a rookie. So
he's a rookie.
Duh.
All right, sorry. He's young. He's raw. I hear he can play D, but everything else is kind of still coming up to the NBA level. So with him running the show, hopefully Kristaps can take a leap. But as a Knicks fan, it hurts me to say this. I hope they tank so they can pick up a great player in this year's draft. So I'm going with the under.
Hot take alert.
All right, let's
Hot
hear
take
it.
alert. Don't at me when the season ends and the Knicks are the 8th seed in the NBA. Don't at me. No, that is hot. I'll give you another hot take from me. They're going to go over 30.5. Porzingis is too good not to win 31 games.
Well, if he takes the leap, we expect him to take, but
he
has to stay on the court. He has injury problems.
Remember, they are now freed from the triangle.
They
are freed from Phil.
Mm-hmm.
If they can avoid the drama from last season.
But the triangle always lingers.
If Porzingis can stay healthy, the triangle always lingers. If they can get over the Phil drama, the Charles Oakley drama, the James Dolan drama, the triangle, I don't see why in this sorry-ass conference they can't win 31 games. The playoffs might be tough, but when they make them, don't at me on Twitter.
Hey, don't forget also, D. Wade did say Tim Hardaway Jr., same name, different player. So maybe he's going to run the show in New York.
Same thing. That was pretty good.
That hurts me to say Tim Hardaway Jr. running the show in New York.
Different player, but that was pretty good.
Please, someone help me. How about we stop talking about the Knicks? Take us to the next team.
The Orlando Magic,
Oh.
who have Disney on their jersey.
That's all they really have going for them is Disneyland.
Yeah, go to Disney World.
Because the team is not good at all. They still have Aaron Gordon, and they're still hoping he's going to take this leap to be a superstar.
You know, he wasn't quite bad at power forward last season after he traded Ibaka. Started playing there,
but I don't know if you noticed after his injury last season, hasn't had the same bounce. Yeah, so he's not really as athletic as he was.
That's kind of all they had going for him.
They lost Ibaka. They still have Alfred Payton running the show, which I have not liked since day one.
Mario Hezonja, your compatriot.
Let's not talk about Mario Hezonja. He hasn't really showed up. Sorry for all the Croatian fans, but he's not good. I think they're a terrible team. Who even coaches them anymore?
Frank
Vogel's the coach.
I know Jacques Vaughn coached them for a bit.
Yeah, in the summer, one of their executives accidentally tweeted the picture of what they're trying to do in the offseason, their draft board, their trade targets, like that organization's a mess. If you
go to Orlando, it better be to ride the Mickey Mouse ride at Magic Kingdom. All right, we've got 3 teams to go. 3 very exciting teams.
What was their win share? Did we say their win share?
Oh, 33.5.
Under for sure.
Yeah.
Easy.
All right, moving on. Maybe the most exciting team in the offseason, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Ooh, a very exciting team.
Their win total, 41.5.
You know what? A lot of people might be thinking, take the over. Great team, great young players. I'm taking the under.
Good on Vegas for moving the lineup as much as they did because they knew they would get suckers to bet the over.
Yeah.
Embiid already said he might not play the whole season.
Yeah. Injury problems all
over. Like if Embiid, Simmons, and Fultz are healthy, I have no problem putting them in the playoffs.
100%.
But we don't know how those 3 are gonna get along. And if Embiid last year when he played that team was good enough to make the playoffs.
For sure. 100%.
But if he doesn't play the full 82 season,
if he plays in this week East, they're making.
You know, but they could win over 30 games. They could win 35 or whatever.
I agree with that.
But the line is quite high. I think that's one of my locks. Actually.
You know what I feel a little Timberwolves feel from last season. Everyone had the Timberwolves really high, great young team, but underachieved. I feel the same thing with the Philadelphia 76ers because they are a young team. They have never really had this playoff experience. A lot of injury problems. They need Embiid to stay healthy. Simmons hasn't played a minute in the NBA yet. Fultz hasn't played a minute in the NBA yet. They're great players, but can they gel together? All right, to wrap it up, we're going to show our respect to Canada, going over to the 6, over to the East, Toronto Raptors.
The Raptors last season, I think I watched just about every game, at least 1 minute of every game.
Really?
Yeah, but no more than that.
Yeah.
The Raptors, the same team from last season. The main addition, Kyle Wilcher, OJ Anunoby.
They got CJ Miles.
CJ Miles.
And they retained Ibaka.
So now, DeMar DeRozan won't take the last shot. It'll be CJ Miles. So their over-under is 48.5.
All right, they have 48.
They won 51 games last season. Can they repeat that?
I think the line is set pretty well. It's a tough decision to go with the over-under. I'm going to go with the under. I think that they're a ticking time bomb. The team keeps getting older. They keep running it back. They're kind of stuck on a treadmill. DeMar DeRozan, he still can't shoot the 3, and that's a big weakness of his. Kyle Lowry's still getting older, putting more mileage on those legs. Ibaka, he's a decent power forward. Valanciunas, soft white guy. I don't know how far he can take them. I'm going to take the under if I haven't already said that.
Yeah, and you know, I think with Dwayne Casey, this might be his last season in Toronto, so he could either handle that really well, really inspire the team for him, or it could go really sour.
For sure.
And it's a season of him not putting in as much work, the players seeing that, reflecting that lack of work, and then them themselves putting themselves at a lack of work. I'm going to take the under as well, but it's really, really tight. Really tight.
It hurts me to say I'm taking the under because they have a special.
But I'm going to say the under, but the Raptors, hey, Canada's team, come out and support.
We the North.
North uprising.
They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll be in the playoffs. Jurassic Park will come back when we're here. All right, and finally, Leo, we're going to go from the 6 to DC.
Oh, exciting team, Washington Wizards. So they got John Wall, Bradley Beal, signed Otto Porter to a humongous deal. No one understands why, but they had to match that Nets.
Because he's automatic.
Automatic from 3. But no, that's a good young team. If they can repeat the success they had last season, They haven't really added much bench depth, which was their weakness from last season. Beal and Wall had to carry that team, play a lot of minutes. They were getting tired. You could tell, even in the playoffs when they lost to the Celtics, they just ran out of gas. But I'm taking the over at
48 games.
48 games.
Yeah, they'll win 50 games. I think that's kind of the ceiling for them. But they should win 50 games. I think last season they had a really bad start.
Yeah. And
from then on, they were pretty good. So I think they'll win 50 games. I'll take the over. You know, them and the Raptors were probably the toughest choices. The lines were right there. I take Washington over because I like Wall and Beal in 2018 a little more than I like Lowry and DeRozan in 2018.
Yeah, for sure. Wall's too good for them not to win more than 48 games.
I agree. And Beal's a great player too.
Yeah. So if you haven't noticed, we've only done one conference. This is part one of a two-parter. I hope you're excited.
So if you like this, obviously come back and watch part 2 for the West.
For the West. That's where the big dogs play out in the West.
The Cavs will play in the West.
All right, one of the big dogs is missing.
All right, so thank you guys so much. Come back for the part of the West. We might have more in our NBA preview coming up, awards, championship.
Stay tuned. The last NBA video didn't do as well, so make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with all your family members and your friends. Get the word out. Voice from the Bleachers.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you in the West.